The Ultimate Gauntlet is a brand new mode in FC26 Ultimate Team where rules compared to other game modes are very different. So in today's video, I'm going to try and explain everything that you need to know about this game mode, how it works, what rewards you can get from it, and everything in between. If you do have any questions that are not answered in it, leave them in the comments and myself or someone else will try and help you out. So to kick things off, what on earth is the Gauntlet? Well, it's a tournament-esque mode that doesn't work like any other tournaments that we have in Ultimate Team. For example, the draft and any other live tournaments, if you lose in the first game, that's it. You're done, you're out. In the Gauntlet, things work a little bit differently. This first one, to kick off this first Ultimate Gauntlet of the year, is 3 rounds. You might be watching this video in 5 months' time, and the average Gauntlet might be up to 5 rounds. Things are going to progress and change throughout the year, but we will use this first one as our example and explanation today. So for this first Gauntlet, you get 1 entry per day, and there are 4 days where you can play. So in total, you will have 4 goes to win the Gauntlet. Each entry gains you access to the Gauntlet where you will play 3 games. That is indicated by the 3 rounds description. And there are some very important details for how this works. So instead of all the other game modes where you use your same team that you've built up and improved throughout the year, you're going to be using a different team in every game that you play. So any player that you use in game 1 cannot play in game 2 or game 3. So this means that this year, instead of just your starting 11, you need to build up your club. So keep those untradables, keep those objective and SBC players that don't quite make your main team this year. And if you don't have those and you need to go and get some coins, why not check out Loot Bar? By far the cheapest place to get your coins on FC26 on all platforms, 10% cheaper than others, and delivered in as fast as half an hour. Some of your favorite YouTubers are already using Loot Bar, and the reviews are fantastic. And if you use my code BirdieX at checkout, then you'll get a bigger discount on your coins. So go and check out Loot Bar in the description down below. Now at this moment in time, there are no rewards tied specifically to the Gauntlet. Once you finish your games, you just get told that you have completed the Gauntlet. However, there are objectives, and I think that this is going to be a common theme throughout the entire year. So what are these objectives? Well, as I said, you've got 3 games every day, so a maximum of 12 for this first Gauntlet. Our current objectives are to play 3 games, that's easy enough, win 1, win 2, have a perfect round. This one, you need to win all 3 games of a Gauntlet on the same day. And this will get you Kudos and his new Cornerstones card. I believe that this is going to be the objective that we see the most throughout the year. You get a perfect run in the Gauntlet, you obtain a player item. And then all of the other ones like win 3, 5, 6 overall games will give you some nice packs to go alongside it. But that main one is to have an undefeated Gauntlet run. So let's go through my first run of the Gauntlet and show you how things work. So I've got my main team, as you can see here, and we've made sure that on the bench we do not have anybody that is in my other Squad 2 or Squad 3. Now this is important. Anyone that is on the bench, even if they do not play, is not allowed in the other games. So it's not just if you sub someone on, they're locked out. No. Everybody is locked, and I'll show you what that looks like once we finish the first game. Every single player that was involved in that squad now has a red dot at the top of their card. This indicates they are not allowed to be used. They have already been ticked and used in that current Gauntlet. Each day, that will reset. Okay, so once you've gone through your entry of the Gauntlet and you've played your 3 games, when you get to day 2, you'll be able to use your main team again. It's not as if they're completely locked out for the whole week. But for that specific run of 3 games, you can only use a player once. Now, at the very start of the year, this might work a bit differently to later in the year. As it stands, if you have Erling Haaland in your club, and you also have Inform Erling Haaland, you can actually use both of those cards. Later in the year, the idea is that that will not be the case. But at the start, because the player, pool of players is smaller, you're able to actually use both of those. If you're fortunate to have more than one version of a player. So I won my first game in the Gauntlet, my first round, as it were, in Gauntlet number 1. I won that. And so now we have to swap squads to our second one. And as we do that, you can see that those red dots that were on our previous players, they're not on these because they were not involved. And so we are free to use our second team. Here is another important thing to note about your squad. If you are using any lone players, these games do count towards the loans. So if you have been holding on to someone that you maybe only have one game left with, maybe you got a really, really lucky pull like a Musiala on loan like I did, and you use his last game for your match in the Gauntlet, that's it. He's gone, he's done. So another big question that people have is, what happens if I lose? Well, this is unlike any other type of tournament in Ultimate Team that we have had. In those, if you lose, that's it, you're out, you start again, or you have to come back the next day. With the Gauntlet, that is not the case. I lost my second game because I came up against someone that was amazing with Sorloth. And so, unfortunately, that is a loss on my record and a loss in the Gauntlet, which means I cannot obtain that Kudos card on my first attempt. But I could still win 2 out of 3 because, as you can see, it tells you you've got your loss, but that was just your score in the second round. Now you move on to your third round with your final team and you see how you do. Now there is a world as we go forward with the Gauntlet throughout the year that they add more objectives, that these individual records on individual Gauntlets actually matter. Because right now, if I get 1 win on day 1, 1 win on day 2, and then on day 3 and 4, I win all 3 games. The first 2 days were basically irrelevant, whereas in the future, it might be that the objectives are set up to the point where you need to average 2 wins every day in order to get X, Y, Z rewards. But right now, you can have a really, really bad day where maybe you come up against someone that is amazing, or you just play terribly. It doesn't matter too much. So we have our third and final squad here, and we go and head into our final game. Fortunately for me, I did pretty well in this one, and we made our opponent rage quit, and so there we go. I have completed the Ultimate Gauntlet on my first attempt. Now, if you win all 3, it comes up and says that you are the Gauntlet winner. Unfortunately, I can't show you my footage of that because I didn't do it. But as it stands, it doesn't really matter, because I have 3 more days in my scenario where I can re-enter the Gauntlet each day and try and get 3 out of 3 wins in order to obtain that Kudos card. Another thing to note is the matchmaking. As it currently stands, we don't really know how the matchmaking works. It appears to be completely open and random matchmaking. It does not appear that your division rivals' placement, like what division you're in, or your overall record or form or anything like that, has any impact on your Gauntlet matchmaking. We had multiple people that had very different experiences. Some of them comfortably won all 3 games when they're struggling in division rivals. Others are doing great in rivals and also did great in the Gauntlet. So it's not as if they came up against other really high rated players. It seemingly is random. That might change as the year goes on, and we may also see other changes where winning a Gauntlet gives you access to other things. They have hinted before that a live event tournament may potentially be locked behind you winning a Gauntlet, for example. Just like we saw with the early access finale tournament that was locked behind you having won one of the early access tournaments. We could see the same thing with the Gauntlet. So at the start of the year, there are no direct rewards tied to your Gauntlets, but you have the objective rewards, and that is the focus. So it's an awesome new game mode and a really cool concept, and it encourages you building a club rather than a squad. By having to change it every match, including the bench, it's a lot of cards that you actually need to have decent ones in your club. You can't really go into your games 2 and 3 with a bronze squad because you're just going to get destroyed. But the Gauntlet is here, and hopefully you now understand everything that there is to know. As I said at the start, if you don't, please let us know in the comments. Ask your questions, and hopefully we can answer them. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.